Looking good.
It doesn't take much to light up the night sky.
Yeah, everything looks locked in, looking great.
Just some red, white, and blue Lucifer.
The thing that excites me the most is the crowd's reaction. Yeah, we got a bunch of people. It's a nice big show tonight.
What did you want to be when you grew up?
Ooh, not a owner of a drone show company, I'll tell you that.
To create the logo of the 250-150 Commission celebrating the nation's 250th birthday and the state's 150th, Tom Dolan needed 250 plus 150 and some change.
All these shows are 500 drones. It is a lot of drones. It's easy to start doing the math on how much money is up in the air.
About how much is a drone like that?
About $1,000, yep.
Times 500?
I know. Yep, everything looks good.
Actually, it does take a lot to light up the night sky. It takes money, it takes technology, it takes Tom trusting Chris.
It starts as basically a line drawing.
Take a sketch you might even draw on the back of a napkin, and Chris Probst can light it up.
It started with a sketch, and then we moved to this kind of 3-part animation of a kayaker, a runner, and then a mountain climber.
No, Chris did not get a degree in drone sketch artistry. Is that even a thing? He went to school for film and television and now creates moving pictures on the largest screen possible.
We have water here, and we have the paddle going into the water, so we're able to change the color of the paddle to show that it's under the water pushing. We can tell a story with less, but it's still just through a simple color change.
Nice. Kids are recognizing it. Big old giant teddy bear.
To know if Chris's sky wizardry is magical,
All right, move on to the next series of animations.
Tom tests each show.
Ooh, it's a dark transition shoot. Oh, that's stressful.
They're not announced,
Yeah, we're getting a lot. We're gonna run out of room here pretty soon.
but they're quite visible.
If you build it, they will come.
500 drones lift into the sky. Not so much to give people a show,
Oh yeah, you see that? Bottom of the T? Let's keep an eye on that.
but to make sure all the I's are dotted and T's are completely filled with drones.
What we would consider a great show is if you have 1 or 2 drones that either go into an auto land or we have to pull them for whatever reason. That to us is a great show.
Early in Tom's career, he had less than a great show when he tried to bring a drone back, out of concern the battery was going empty too soon.
The key there is you need to have that 1 drone selected. I had 19 drones selected at that point. So I brought back 19 drones at once. And once they come back, it's not like a undo, a control Z. It's once they're coming back, they're coming back. And probably the hardest thing I've ever dealt with this business was sitting through that show, because you can't bring back the rest of them. So you kind of have to sit in your own stink, if you will, and watch the rest of that show with 19 drones on the ground. Yeah, we got a bunch of people. It's a nice big show tonight.
When it's showtime, the drones take off simply by pushing play.
15 minutes, ground to ground, drones taking off, drones landing right back where they started. All the hard work is what Chris does.
They're less explosive than a fireworks show, even when there are fireworks.
Nice, Josh, good show.
Marshall Zelinger,
Hell yeah, good job, everyone.
9 News.
And look who's here. Marshall joins us now for a little deeper dive into the story. So what surprised you the most about how much work is put into this?
I mean, it was the cost and the backups. So designing it, I just didn't know how that worked.
Just like a little sketch first?
Yeah, and you have to be really computer savvy to be able to figure that out. And I guess I anticipated something like that. So that, I mean, it was neat to see it, but the surprise was the back. So they have, his mantra is 2 is 1, 1 is none.
Okay.
So you have to have 2 of everything, at
Interesting.
least. So think of 500 drones times, I think he has times 2.
In
Battery
a perfect
backup,
world, of course.
But also, like they create their own network. So like picture like a Wi-Fi network. One of their shows was in Vail, and you don't want to risk losing signal in Vail.
That's right.
And so they have their own network so that their drones talk to this network. They have a backup in case that one fails. And the thing I nerded out about was like, how do you make sure a drone doesn't fall out of the sky?
Right.
Like, let alone like come back home.
Exactly.
And so they have geo fences. So if it hits this invisible fence, it comes home.
Okay, does it have like a parachute? So like
No, it just it flies. It
Okay.
flies home. If it goes past that, it goes to a second fence. If it hits that, cut power, and then it falls out of the sky.
Oh my
And so they use a
gosh.
calculation to determine if a drone does that, what's the closest an audience member can be on the off chance it's going to
Smart.
hit this second fence.
Yeah.
And yeah, there's no parachute. It just falls out of the sky.
Oh my gosh. You know what? We went to a few drone shows over the last year. I love it. I prefer it over fireworks. Don't hate me, but I do. And I love that you can bring your dog because it's not loud. I love that it's not scaring the birds.
And you can't hear the buzz. Like there's music going
Yes.
depending on where you are. And where I was, which wasn't near the music, I could not hear the buzz. I could hear it when they were landing
Right.
and taking off, but not when it was, I really couldn't hear it in the sky. And you forget when some of them are turned off because the lights turn off so they can make a certain design. Like you forget there are hundreds other drones up there.
Oh my gosh.
Like there's not 500
no,
right there.
No. It's so cool, and just to think that they're going to have to like continue to, you know, have new ones if he wants to like freshen his whole show and all of that. So a lot of work put into it. Very cool. I learned a lot. So thank you so much, Marshall Zelinger.
Sure thing.